Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthy Brain Podcast. Today's episode is a way to switch your brain. So, 8 ways to switch your brain. I call it my if then. So, if you're experiencing brain fog, difficulty focusing, feeling overwhelmed, maybe burned out, stressed, low energy, you're procrastinating, you lack the motivation, then this is the episode for you. Like I said, it's my if then approach. Now, all of the resources here or the approaches that I'm going to be sharing are things that I've included in my digital program, Build a Stronger Brain. And that program is live right now. It's a 60-day program. It's actually a little bit more than 60 days because we're in prep week right now. So if you would like to find out more about this Build a Stronger Brain, and you can join for 8 weeks, 60 days, and you'll find the link in the show notes. Getting into this, as I was thinking of many of the complaints that my clients have had, but I've also experienced all of these. The brain fog, difficulty concentrating, just feeling like blah, not motivated, procrastinating. So these are some suggestions that could get you out of a funk and get into action. So the first off, I'll go through each one. The first one is, let's say you're experiencing brain fog. So people will say, my brain just is not working as quickly. It just feels like there's a haze over it. One big thing that can help is exercise. Yes. And why would exercise help? Well, yes, it does help with the endorphins, but more specifically, it's the blood flow to the brain. When you exercise, there's an increase in blood flow to the brain and there's an increase in oxygen to the brain. And this actually helps neurogenesis, so the growth of new neurons. And you also have the neurotransmitter effects of exercise. There's serotonin is released. It affects mood and behavior. You feel better. There's also an increase in norepinephrine, which affects mood and behavior in the brain. A increase in norepinephrine will actually cause you to improve your focus and think faster. So if you have brain fog, move your body, exercise, even if it's walking just a little bit faster than you normally do, just get that blood flowing to the brain. All right, now the next one is, let's say you're having difficulty focusing and paying attention. My primary suggestion, if you have difficulty focusing, then practice meditation. The reasons are, in meditation, they've done this brain research that different parts of the brain are activated while you meditate. And even when you meditate consistently for days upon days, you actually change your brain. But what are the changes from meditation is in the brain, in the prefrontal cortex, right here in the front, there's an increase in gray matter. So the prefrontal cortex gets thicker, and that means there's more activity. There's temporoparietal junction that also is activated, and that enhances attention, that area when it's activated. Now, moving on to the next one. If you feel low energy, then clear out processed foods. Oh, I know. I know that's not a fun answer, but really it's the added sugar, the sneaky fats, the unhealthy fats, the processing that makes us feel sluggish and low energy. So if you want to really improve your energy, start eating cleaner. I know, it may not be what you want to hear in some cases, right? But that is the if then. If low energy, then clear out the processed foods. If you feel lethargic, then I have two here. Hydrate, because I have seen it many times when I've been in the hospital where people will come in. A lot of times it's these little old ladies who are lethargic. They think that the staff thinks there's more going on. Of course, they do all the testing, but they give them the saline and they perk up. And this is for a lot of people. If you're dehydrated, even just a small amount, it can affect your cognition. So if you are feeling just blah, hydrate. Even consider electrolytes if that is something that you want to see how your body responds. Most people would benefit, but again, you don't want to, it just depends on what level you want to get to. You don't want to just be taking a ton of electrolytes, but within whatever your plan is, then you can make that choice. The other is when you're feeling lethargic, then sleep. Really focus in on your sleep hygiene. And now we're getting into the summertime. That means the sun is out longer, it's longer days, and your sleep, and I know my sleep, I've noticed I'm going to bed a bit later. So I'm really trying to lock it in a bit more to make sure that I have a better sleep protocol. And the reason that sleep will affect your energy is because what they found is that in some study, poor sleep quality resulted in a 20% increase in errors and a 40% increase in time to complete a task. Getting less than 7 hours sleep is associated with lower blood flow to the brain. Again, there's that blood flow. And really, with a good sleep routine, it allows the glymphatic system to be activated, and that clears out the toxins and the proteins and the byproducts that accumulate during the daytime, and it's cleared out during sleep. But you got to make sure you have good quality sleep. And what does that mean? It means going to bed at a reasonable time, waking up in order to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep if possible. And the quality comes in if your deep sleep is there, if REM sleep, there's a certain percentage, actually hourly, for how many hours of REM and how many hours of deep sleep. There is another episode all about that sleep, so you can go check that out in the Healthy Brain podcast. Now let's move on. Number 5, if you feel overwhelmed, then what should you do? Then pick a small little project and clean up and declutter. Something small. That actually, when you're feeling overwhelmed, picking something small, what you'll find is it will give you a little bit of a win and that momentum. Use small actions, use a timer, and just say to yourself, okay, I'm just going to do this one thing. And what you'll find is you'll finish it and probably want to continue doing more. Or if not, you've done that one action. Let's say for number 6, if you feel like you want to procrastinate and you are procrastinating, then try habit stacking. I love the book Atomic Habits, and it's very popular now where James Clear, he's coined the habit stacking, which is you take a current habit and you add in a new habit that you want to create a habit for. So that is really a great way to overcome procrastination. Is you start to pair things together, and I call it habit pairing in some ways. So if I have a new habit and I'm sort of procrastinating, trying to maybe it's a supplement I need to do, maybe it's a stretching at night, then I'm procrastinating. What I do is I habit stack it with something else. So that really will help if you feel procrastinating, then try habit stacking. All right, number 7, if you feel disconnected and you want to be a hermit, well, it's no bueno for the brain health. We want you to get out there and socialize. So if you feel disconnected, then prioritize social interaction. But it doesn't have to be something crazy. It can be maybe going to an online, some kind of connecting online meeting, or maybe it's just you're going to the library, you're going out to the coffee shop, you're not having maybe one-on-one conversations with people, but you're getting out there. So notice when you're feeling disconnected from life and from people, make yourself go out. Then try and prioritize social interaction and being social. The last is if you feel burnt out, if you feel like you lack the motivation, then pick something fun and creative to do. I think if we can get, and I know myself, I can get into this productivity rut where I'm doing. It has to be, it's on my to-do list. It's something to do with my business, or it's something to do with the house. And I can get into a rut of feeling burnt out and I just don't want to do anything. I turn to something creative. And the reason is that it will help you access the brain's reward center. You also get into a flow state when you're doing something creative. It could be creative journaling. It could be a craft. It could be for creativity. You could be painting. You could be drawing. You could be doing something. This weekend, I did with my daughters. I bought these little, oh, I should have brought them up, but they're little, you can find them on Amazon. They're books that are watercolor books. So they have the image all traced out for you, and then you just paint. And it was so nice to just disconnect and talk, have a little wine, paint a little bit. It's something creative. I'm not going to do anything with them, although they turned out not too bad. I made a nice little flower, and I think it was a dolphin. And what I noticed is I wanted to give up a couple of times because the colors were just looking very, it looked like a kindergartner was painting it, basically. So I kept with it and I kept painting, and I kept putting water and mixing it, and just trying things and allowing myself to just have fun with it. Then it actually turned out, I was happy with it. So if you feel burnt out, if you feel like you lack motivation, then just try something creative. It activates another part of the brain, the right side of the brain, when we do things that are creative. It will enhance your confidence and reduce the burnout and give you a little recharge to keep going. Maybe it's taking the day or the evening off, and or a couple of days where you just feed into the creativity. All right, so that is what I have for you today. A short one, but it's the if-then approach. So really, if you're feeling like you're stuck with any of the ones that I explained, then try some things. Let me know how it turned out, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.